Hi guys, today we're going to continue our series of looking at horse racing terms and terminology, and we're going to start off today by looking at Rule 4 deductions, what a Rule 4 is and what that can mean to your bet if you come across a Rule 4 in a particular market. So we've got a chart here at the moment that probably looks completely new to some of you, but we will get onto that very shortly. Basically, the Rule 4 that can be applied to a particular horse racing market, it's basically when a horse is withdrawn from the race after the time that you've placed your bet. The deduction is a percentage of your stake, and it can be calculated by applying the odds of the withdrawn horse, and also can be used with this chart that you see on your screen right now. The Rule 4 deduction in itself is an adjustment to a price that has already been taken by a bettor in order to cover the withdrawn horse leaving the market. This obviously would give backers of the non-runner a chance to receive their money back, and therefore the market will then be adjusted with that horse leaving the market. It can be quite frustrating for punters that have taken a particular price, and then you're obviously getting lesser returns based on the Rule 4 and how big the Rule 4 is. But one thing you need to remember with Rule 4s is that it is just expressed as the number of pence in the pound based on your level of stake. So the shorter the price of the withdrawn runner leaving the market, the higher the amount of pence in the pound, and therefore the bigger Rule 4, which we can see here on the table. So a 1 to 9 horse leaving the market, or even shorter than that in the betting, would incur a 90p within the pound Rule 4, which is obviously one of the maximum you can have. And therefore, on the flip side, the bigger the price of the withdrawn horse, the smaller the Rule 4 deduction is. And we can show you that now on the on this chart here. So obviously, as the prices on the left hand side get bigger, the deduction obviously gets smaller. So as we scroll further down here, we can see that you get all the way down to the last bottom column, which is the 5p Rule 4, which is basically a horse leaving the market that was priced between 10 and 14 to 1. So if you were to get a withdrawn horse, for example, that was 16 to 1 or above, you wouldn't incur a Rule 4 on that particular bet, and you would obviously not have a Rule 4 for that particular race. One thing to note is that obviously the Rule 4s will differ between certain bookmakers, as not every bookmaker has the same prices as each other. So you could find on a particular market that a horse has left one of the races, had been a non-runner or withdrawn, and a bookmaker may have had it at 10 to 1, which obviously incurs a 5p Rule 4, and a bookmaker may also have had it at 8 or 9 to 1, so that would incur a 10p Rule 4 deduction. So it can vary between bookmakers, but one thing to note with Rule 4s is that regardless of what price is taken and what the price is of the withdrawn horse, all bookmakers will stand and use this table to calculate the Rule 4 deduction in that particular case. So that is the breakdown of what a Rule 4 deduction is.